All right, hi everyone. Welcome to this week one module video, our first of the weekly module videos. I'm going to do one of these every week for our weekly content. So if you're watching this video, you're in the right place. You know that it would be here in the week one module video, the first thing in our weekly module. So it'd be right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and walk through what this week is going to be containing in terms of material and assignments. Okay, so let's go through this week one module overview and learning objectives. Okay, so here's what the learning objectives are for this week. We're basically just doing some algebra review. So, basic operations of algebra, um, variables, algebraic expressions, factoring, solving equations, looking at some graphs, and simplifying exponents and rationalizing. So basic algebra that we're going to be reviewing this week, okay? So that's pretty much it. It's the first week. It's always a bit chaotic in terms of like students adding the class, dropping the class, introductions. So I want to keep things a bit straightforward. We'll get really rolling next week. But yeah, this week is just like introductions, logistics, and a bit of algebra review. Okay, so here's a couple of things that we're going to be completing this week, though, in this first week. So, watching this video, watching an introduction video that I made, watching a syllabus video that I made, watching a couple lecture videos for algebra review. Hopefully, you take some notes and a self-check algebra review for our self-check assignment. Discussion. This week is the meet and greet discussion. I was also in the orientation module, but it's a part of this week as well. So, yeah, you post a response, embed a photo for practice, responding to people. Okay. And then our really only assignment in terms of math is a self-check algebra review. So, like I said, I have a video for that. Like I literally go over the assignment, and that's part of like the support that we have in this course, okay? So that's our overview. Um, and so let's kind of go through the rest of this module, okay? So the introduction portion, like I said, I have an introduction video and a syllabus video, and I just have the syllabus quiz right underneath it again. It's also in the orientation module, but just good to have it handy right there. So yeah, I have an introduction video where I talk about myself a bit, my background and things like that. If you want to watch it, get to know me a little bit instead of just like a Canvas NPC, right? So give it a nice view if you want. Learn a couple things about myself. Next one is the syllabus video, and this one's a little longer. I know we have the syllabus quiz where you look through the syllabus and get an idea of how the class works, but here is the syllabus video as well, where I'm just like literally going through section by section the syllabus, okay? I also show a little bit of like how the XYZ works if you want to check that out. But this is what couple resources that I have for you, okay? So introduction video, syllabus video, if you want to check those out. I also have like a weekly Q&A discussion board. So, here's week one Q&A discussion board. And so where I typically post questions. If anyone has questions for me on Canvas or an email, maybe someone has the same question, so I'll post it here, discussion board. Maybe you have a question and you don't want to ask me, or you just want to ask the class. You could post a question here, and maybe someone will reply to you. Maybe I'll reply to you. But yeah, I always have one of these every week. Okay. It's a safe space, right? You know, it's for you to have. And so this is where we'll get into a bit of our content, pretty short, but like I said, we're kind of taking a little easy this first week, which we normally would do in a regular math class. So algebra review, that's what it's all about. So I'm just gonna kind of go through these one by one. And so learning objectives, we kind of talked about this already. But yeah, this is what our learning objectives would be for this algebra review. These will help us like establish some bases for the material for the rest of the semester, okay? So that is our learning objectives for this algebra review content. And so I have a lecture video cut into two parts of me doing some algebra review with notes that I created. So here are the guided notes in this link right here. Um, print it out, use a tablet or just write on a paper if you want. But yeah, get some reviewing so you're starting off on a good foot in case, math has been a tough spot for you. Okay, so uh, let's go ahead and keep moving. This is the notes as well. Uh, in this link, it's PDF of the notes um, here for you if you want to print it out or, etc. Okay, so self-check. Self-check is an assignment. Okay. It's a weekly assignment and it's just extra practice problems to reinforce the material. And it's part of that support section that we have in this class. So yeah, down below is the lecture video for it. Here's the assignment. And what I'm literally doing is just going over the assignment. Okay, so my advice is try it out. Double check your answers. But if you're just really stuck, you have no idea what to do, just follow along the video. Okay, that's the support that you have. Okay, so there's the assignment, there's a video, and that's really the only thing we're going to be submitting this week, this assignment. Okay, so how does the assignment work? Well, it's due this Friday. Self-checks are usually due Thursdays, but I just made it, well, it should say the 28th, sorry. Um, because down here it says the 28th. So that should say the 28th. I think I'll just have the Thursday in mind. Usually do Thursdays, but here I'm making it do Friday, so I'll change that to the 28th. Just because I'm posting this on a Tuesday. But yeah, it's really our only assignment due this week. Here's the assignment again. You're going to upload this as a PDF. Okay, so you guys are online students, so I assume you guys are comfortable with uploading PDFs. If not, let me know. But yeah, just submit it into one file. Use Adobe Scan, Cam Scanner. Okay, and if you can't submit it by Friday, you have 48 hours, so you have until Sunday night to submit it. But yeah, so that's really our only assignment this week. Okay. And here's a rubric I kind of follow. It's mainly about like completeness and attempt, mainly because I'm giving you guys the answers and solutions. So that is, you know, how this is kind of graded. So really, I think the last thing I have is like additional resources. So we're doing algebra review, so I just have additional algebra review YouTube videos. Like here's a good one, Organic Chemistry Tutor. He just goes over basic concepts of algebra, and some more algebra, review videos. And even his is titled Algebra Review. This is his profession, making online videos, so he's a lot better than me. So maybe you want to watch that and remind yourself of a couple of things, all right? And so, yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. We're taking a little light, logistics and algebra review. There's no XYZ assignment, no lab assignment, no lab discussion. We're gonna get going on that next week, all right? I just want to get settled in, get your XYZ, get an idea of how the class works, and then we'll get going next week. So, yeah, here's our module conclusion, everything we did. It's kind of like a checklist that you did all the stuff that we've kind of talked about. And yeah, this is going to prepare us for how the course works and lay some algebra foundation. But okay, so that's it for this week one module. So kind of light, like I was saying. Week two will have more stuff, like more of our routine. But we're getting off on a good foot right now. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Okay, take care.